Good morning, this is Molendinarius here, Evan from Latinum, and what I'm going to do today is start to go through Virgil's Bucolicon Liber, Eclogue Prima, as a lesson using Edwards' text. So firstly, I'm going to read the text to you in the synthetical order, where it's been put into a more natural sentence structure. Then I'm going to go through the translation of the text. We're going to then look at it in the Latin order, and then the footnotes. So the synthetical order is as follows. O titere tu recubans sub tegmine huius patulae fagi meditaris silvestrem musam tua tenui avena. Vos linquimus fines patriae et dulcia arva. Nos fugimus patriam, tu, o titere, lentus in umbra, docis silvas resonare, formosam amarillida. So the actual text of Virgil, read, goes like this. So Moiliboeus is speaking first. Titere tu patulae recubans sub tegbine fagi, silvestrem tenui musam meditaris avena. Nos patriae fines et dulcia linquimus arva. Nos patriam fugimus, tu titere lentus in umbra, formosam resonare doces amarillida silvas. The translation of this text goes as follows. Tu, you. So, o titere tu, you, titere, titirus. Recubans, reclining, sub tegmine, under the cover, patulae fagi, of this wide-spreading beech tree. Meditaris, you are playing on your flute. Silvestrem musam, a woodland tune. This is a metaphor. Tenui avena, on the slender oat, which is the reed, which is the musical instrument. Nos, we, linquimus, we are leaving, fines patriae, the border of our land, et dulcia arva, and our sweet fields. Nos, we, fugimus patriam, are fleeing our native land. Tu, titere, you, titirus, lentus in umbra, relaxed, in the shadow, in the shade. Doces silvas, you are teaching the woodland. Resonare, to resonate, to echo back. Formosam amarillida, the beautiful amaryllis. So Edwards then gives a translation, a free translation. You, titirus, reclining underneath the canopy of this wide-spreading beech tree, are playing a woodland melody on your slim oat pipe. We are leaving our country's boundaries and our sweet lands. We are fleeing our country. You, titirus, all relaxed in the shade, are training the woodlands to re-echo fair amaryllis. Let's go over the Latin again in the original. Titere tu patulae recubans sub tegmine fagi, silvestrem tenui musam meditaris avena. Nos patrae fines et dulcia linquimus arva. Nos patriam fugimus, tu titere lentus in umbra, formosam resonare doces amarillida silvas. And now we're going to look over the notes. So in the year 42 BC, when Virgil was 29 years old and the city of Rome was 713 years old, Augustus Octavianus Caesar, having defeated the Republican forces under the conspirators Cassius and Brutus in two pitched battles at Philippi in Macedonia, and therefore established himself as the emperor of Rome on the throne of Julius Caesar, his uncle who had been murdered, he distributed lands about Cremona and Mantua among his veteran soldiers as a reward for loyalty, turning out the native owners for having taken part with his enemies. Virgil's father was a sufferer among the rest, but he recovered his farm through the intercession of Maecenas, or possibly of Pollio or Varus, whom our poet had won over by his talents. And Virgil, to express his gratitude to Augustus for such a favor, composed this particular poem, where he sets forth his own and his father's good fortune in the person of Tityrus, and depicts the distressing situation of the people around Mantua and Cremona in the character of Meliboeus, a shepherd, who is moving away with his few goats to make room for a fresh possessor of the land. Some imagine that by Tityrus, Virgil was referring to himself personally, but as Tityrus is represented as an old man, whereby the effect is greatly heightened, and Virgil was still in the prime of his life, this is not reasonable. Hesychius interprets Tityrus to signify one, possibly a satyr, a satyr, or two, the shepherd's pipe, or some sort of wild bird. Servius, again, understood the word in the sense of the chief ram. And Lacerda notices that in the African tongue, Tityrus means a goat. Virgil, no doubt, borrowed the name from Theocritus as being a very fit one for a shepherd, a musical shepherd, and implying in the Greek language a person enjoying leisure and tranquility. Several commentators take fagus to be a species of oak commonly called esculus, or in English the mast tree. But Pliny clearly says it is a beech tree. So there's some argument about what kind of tree it is we're talking about here. But Pliny's words are fagi glans nuclei similis triangula cute includitur folium tenue ac levissimum populo simile. So similar to a poplar tree in some ways. Meditaris, literally, though you are meditating or though you are composing, or in a more free translation, you are jamming, as you would say now, playing freely without a score. So in the 8th verse of the 6th eclogue, we find tenui meditabor arundinemusam. And again in the same eclogue, in verse 82, we meet with poiebo meditante. Servius says meditaris id est cantas quasi militaris. De pro el posita. Renaeus interpreted it as modularis, and Lacerda exerces by avena, which literally means an oat or an oat straw, may perhaps be understood a shepherd's pipe, or in general a small penny whistle type of thing. And some would have it that in this pastoral, Amaryllis is allegorical for Rome. So those are the notes on this, the first 5 lines, which I'll read again in Latin now. Tutere tu patulae recubans sub tegmine fagi, silvestrem tenui musa meditaris avena, nos patriae fines, et dulcia linquimus arva. Nos patriam fugimus, tu titere lentus in umbra, formosam resonare, doces amarillida silvas. And finally, before I go, the synthetical order in the natural order. O titere tu recubans sub tegmine huius patulae fagi, meditaris vestrem musam tua tenui avena. Nos linquimus fines patriae et dulcia arva. Nos fugimus patriam. Tu, o titere, lentus in umbra, doces silvas resonare, formosam amarillida. If you're interested in more things, please do visit my website latinum.org.uk. Vale, bye.